I want to talk about White Wolf's return. White Wolf, as you probably know from having clicked on this video, is now the official rebranded licensing and publishing body formerly known as World of Darkness, famous for Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and many other tabletop role-playing games, board games, card games, etc. This in conjunction with Paradox Interactive, who are still the overall rights holders. However, this rebrand lets White Wolf have control over the IP right now to direct the brand in a more fan-focused direction. And that is completely fair and is honestly cool. I like how they're taking the story worlds back in-house so they could, if they wanted to, control and create an even greater overarching meta plot. It just makes the whole game seem bigger, even though there are tons and tons of books, expansions, and stories to enjoy already. But something's sitting funny with me, and it's because of the years 2018 and 1999. First, 2018, you remember 2018, you know, the football team getting stuck in a mine, Kendrick Lamar winning a Pulitzer, and that's the year 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade came out, updating the game for the 21st century, since the previous version, the 20th anniversary edition, is recognised as the 4th edition, and before that, revised edition, which is recognised as the 3rd edition. I ever say edition so much that it loses all meaning. Second, why 1999? That's 24 years ago. Why is that relevant? Well, in 1999, Wizards of the Coast was bought by Hasbro, and one of the main value assets that Hasbro was interested in was the fact that WotC were in development of the 3rd edition D&D. Now, this is pure speculation. I literally have a gut feeling to go off, nothing more, but I think Paradox may be getting prepped for a 6th edition of World of Darkness as we know it. Which, therefore, consequently, thus, for that reason, I think Paradox might sell White Wolf after Bloodlines 2 has released. Now again, all speculation in my mind, nothing but a gut feeling, but let me explain. Gonna lead with a bonus piece of news here. This is why I think White Wolf were chomping at the bit to hire Jess Lanzillo, former Vice President of Wizards of the Coast, for their creative director for the World of Darkness. Jess has overseen the launch of D&D 2024, which a lot of folks have said was a slump, but honestly, Jess came on in February ahead of the official September launch, after the massive Baldur's Gate 3 hype and after being at Magic the Gathering for their boom in Universes Beyond, which gives her an extremely unique and valuable experience, that being the reception of a product in a purely objective manner. Someone who has a better business sense than you or I would be able to draw a ton of information and create a framework from that experience. What to do, what not to do, where to dedicate more time and money, how to better promote the product, how to handle positive and negative reception. How can an associated IP cultivate a community? The kind of experience that would suit a team that's in the early stages of developing a new edition / product / system. Are you starting to see the threads converge yet? I'm not saying this is Jess's only trait to be hired as a creative director, of course. Her experience with Magic the Gathering at the peak of Universes Beyond and the surge of the last 3 or 4 years would be a massive boon to the World of Darkness's other creative media. To paraphrase former president of Wizards of the Coast, Cynthia Williams, the World of Darkness has never been more popular and they have really great fans and engagement. But the brand can be further monetized. Note: heading into the next section of this video, I want you to remember that 2 things can be true at the same time. Otherwise, you're going to think I'm not making sense. So here goes. A very vocal part of the World of Darkness fanbase is calling for a full rework of the game. It's gone too woke. It's touching on threads that are, quote, being shoved down our throats. Of course, Get of Fenris has nothing to do with fascism. I just want to roleplay as the masters of the werewolf race. Get real-world politics out of this game. This is clearly liberal DEI agenda. Funny enough, there are comments from players of the opposite societal pendulum with some valid criticisms of the content that had been greenlit for World of Darkness. Now, I have been very careful with how I have worded this section so far, entirely, for this next sentence to be accurate. Just because people are being loud about an opinion does not mean that everyone agrees with that opinion. And that's what I meant at the start when I said 2 things can be true at the same time. You can have valid criticisms, surround yourself with people who agree with those criticisms, but not everyone thinks those criticisms are the most important or pertinent thing right now. Most people just want to play a game. Regardless of the back and forth in the community, it's, in my opinion, again completely grounded in nothing but a gut notion, that White Wolf have probably taken notice and are going to start work on an edition that they believe might bridge the gap between the two very vocal sides and the non-vocal, I just want to chill and be a monsters side of the community. Do I think this will be announced at this year's Month of Darkness? Heck no! Bloodlines 2 is going to hold center stage. I imagine there's probably going to be a special edition announced alongside its launch, since we already got confirmation from the Chinese room that it will launch in October. No more delays. We get to be a cool vampire. And honestly, I can't wait. So with all that said, however White Wolf go forward after this rebrand and Jess Lanzillo coming on board, it's all exciting, because when shuffles like this happen, people get renewed energy. Out there concepts get considered, leeway is given, and that's where creativity is found. Not in time or money, but in the space to explore ideas. What do you think? Do you think this rebrand will change anything? Do you think the new creative director will have any greater impact on the world of darkness? Are you looking forward to Bloodlines 2? Heck, is my tinfoil hat showing with the notion Paradox might sell? From where I'm sitting, World of Darkness is bigger now than D&D was in the late 90s. So it's prime season for sales, if you ask me. Let me know in the comments below, and a massive welcome to Jess Lanzillo from me, a little thin blood just getting into this side of the game and community. Thank you all for watching. Be well, be kind, take care, family.
Loot, bloods, and castles. Peasants in the gutter. Same old story with a pretty flag on top.
You have one night to sort your business and get the fuck out of Seattle.
And I'm sorry if you can hear this like really annoying fan noise. It's my new. I've got a new PC and just cannot get the fans to not be on max all the time. So I apologize if that's coming through on this video. Anyway, yeah. Take care.